Yeah, just go
Okay,
live.
bit. All right, I'm finna go live right now.
Yeah.
Can you check the channel and see if you get the camera up?
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, we good.
Okay.
Choppy as hell. Oh no.
All right, bet. Yep.
All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, back out here again on these highways and hedges through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shimmy Awashai, meeting up with the brother in Louisville, Texas. We still in the same spot, just a little hot right now. The sun beaming too hard on the altar. You know, ain't no shade, so that's why we over here at this spot. But we right down, right next to it. All right. Before we go any further, we're gonna face the east. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, teach well, teaching His truth in its entirety. Peace and salutations to the elect out there, all you sincere brothers and sisters who have come back to this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and true faith and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect again. Just want to say, hey, we blessed to have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding the times that we coming into. And if you serve me how about me outside true faith and sincerity, you know the times that we living in. You know all the things that's coming down the pipeline, where we at right now. All right, and like we always do, it's my name is Hope Grace and Mercy, Halab, Hope Grace and Mercy on YouTube.
Brother Labadino. Go by Heart of David on YouTube.
Judgment. All right. And like we always do, we're gonna grab a couple of articles off the end time headlines for the things that's happening in Babylon the Great and also all throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. And we'll just start off with everybody talking about, brothers making videos, lessons. You know, hey, it's everywhere. It says Iran strikes back, send barrage of missiles at Tel Aviv. U.S. helps Israel to shoot them down. You know, and the scripture says that the least of the flock shall draw them out. And, you know, before we go any further, just want to also say that, you know, we living in some beautiful times, you know, but, you know, don't want to jump the gun too ahead, because, you know, we know that that sea help got to be made mandatory before this thing go all out to World War III. You You know, but at the same time, you know, it's a beautiful thing to see it getting ramped up, though.
Yeah, man, because we had all the riots and protests, the boom out of nowhere, Israel and Iran going at it.
Right.
It's going to be another drama, and then somewhere that ship going to be here.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yep. All right, next article says Denver, Colorado, rattled by rare earthquake hasn't happened in 44 years. Call Allah Yahweh 44 years since Denver, Colorado was rattled with the earthquake. Beautiful times. Wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places. All right. Also, it says Iranian. It says Russia warns Israeli attack on Iran was unprovoked and illegal. Yeah, man, because they in bed with the damn devil. They are the damn devil. Another one says Israel claims it tricked Iranian Air Force leaders into meeting before a deadly strike. You know, Iran whole military defense, all they commanders and stuff was wiped out in that barrage of artillery that they shot over there.
man, it's crazy because Trump was saying that we're in a time of great confusion about to take over the people. Especially those who trust in Babylon, who trust in Egypt. Because Trump was talking as if the nuclear peace deals was going through.
Yeah.
He was like leading the people on. But it's footage of him saying, it's documented that he said that he already knew what day the attack was going to happen. Because he said like in 60 days, nuclear deal don't go through. On day 61, said on day 61, they're gonna be attacked. And see, a lot of the Iranian scientists, they thought they was good because Trump was leading them on. And then what happened? They got attacked. Then I'm gonna get this real quick.
I got it for him.
All right. This song's 5083. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. I mean, they're coming out the womb lying as a baby, but the birth of a nation, them coming into power. They've been speaking lies ever since. So they lied to the public as if the nuclear peace deal was gonna work, like there wasn't gonna be no escalation in war. But they was planning on attacking them the whole time. And that's how the Iranian scientists got hit. But even stuff that's happening in America, it's going to be a bunch of lies that be spoken if the people believing in one thing when they're actually working something else behind closed doors.
Let me grab this precept since you brought it out. This is the book of Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21. It says, Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21, and it says, the words in his heart were smoother than butter, for war was in his heart. So like you said, Trump said that they was close to a deal. The whole time he knew that, you know what I'm saying, they was gonna do what they was gonna do anyway.
The data attacking all that.
You know, it wasn't never no they wasn't looking for no peaceful deal anyway.
Nope.
You know, because if it was, they would have did that. And I remember being in the mortgage industry, and it was a little saying they had said, "You good, bro? You could have walked behind us. It's cool." It was a saying in the mortgage industry, like when it comes to like selling houses, the only thing that makes it a good deal is just a good deal. You know what I'm saying? If it's a good deal, then it's gonna go through and it's gonna work. You know, they never wanted that. You know, I truly believe that.
And then even before all that happened, I done seen stuff. Iran said, "Hey, peace talks and nuclear negotiations is off the table anyway." So Trump been knew it wasn't no deal.
Right.
But how he's dealing with the Iranians and the people in the Middle East, America's gonna deal with you American people the same way.
Okay.
And then check this out. It says Iran says U.S. is responsible for consequences of Israel's attack. But see, as soon as Israel got attacked, America went online and said we had nothing to do with it.
With all that damn loud ass motorcycle though. Should I walk and give it to him? You know, come with that loud ass motorcycle.
Yeah, for East real quick.
Feel like your backpack.
Damn, bro.
Going that way. You look
Good
back.
looks, man.
No, you look back, but I don't think you noticed that it came out.
Hell no, not till I park.
Yeah. I thought you was finna turn around.
I see y'all out here every day.
Yeah, I ain't want a car to run over your stuff, man.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Oh yeah, it's all good. But yeah, as soon as Israel got attacked, America went online talking about they had nothing to do with it. Hey, but the question is, who asked them? No, nobody asked them if they had nothing to do with the attack.
Running each other down.
Did you get that on the GoPro?
No, I think my shit died on me on the way here.
Oh, okay. Well, this
But
your
hey, really appreciate it, man.
That's all right. Must was meant for you to hear this word, man. Get your warning.
That's what I'm telling my homie on the phone right now.
Hey,
I
that's it.
would love to, man, but I gotta get to work.
Yeah, you go. Hey, anytime you see us, feel free to stop through.
Alright,
We usually-
I'll come out one day.
But see, America was already, Iran already know that America pretty much fueled up all them jets from Israel that attacked Iran. And then I got a screenshot right here. It's a list of countries, because it wasn't just the Iron Dome that was intercepting doing missiles from Iran, you know, drones. It says the list of countries that helped Israel intercept the attack. It was the U.S., the U.K., Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, Turkey, and the UAE. So Israel had all these people come to their defense. And the American media bragging, like, look at the Iron Dome. Israel got helped. When we really, when you look at the footage, you know what's circulating around social media.
Look like they got their ass handed to them.
Yeah, Israel got pounded. They're not gonna tell you that. And see, back to what we get, Psalm 58. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb.
Yep.
They speak lies as soon as they be born. Because they tell you at least one person died in Israel from Iran's attack. See, they use tricky words like that. At least one person died.
one person.
Meaning there could have been 50 people.
Right.
Could have been 1,000 people. Of course, at least one died. Like, no shit. Like, actually put a number on it. Because when they do something, they tell you, yeah, there's expected to be 50 lives lost. Put a real number on it. Saying at least one ain't saying nothing.
And that's how you know that, you know, Babylon the Great, they just rock back to, they always getting rocked back to sleep, man. Because check this out. Out of anybody in my entire family, in-laws, social media, I haven't seen not one person from the world say anything about the attacks.
Me
and
neither.
stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I got a homeboy, you know, been knowing him since the very first grade. One of my closest homeboys. You know, of course he ain't in the truth or nothing. He called me yesterday telling me about a $1.8 million deal he closed on and what his commission was. You know, my partner, I've been knowing him for forever. He always, you know, making big money like that. And you know, I'm talking to y'all. See, that's all we talking about is what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
You know, the tax and stuff. Not one word was uttered, man. Like, damn. You know, and he said, man, I'm just waiting on the 18th, man, for that money to hit my account. You know, see the 18th. Like I used to say, I hope I don't make it to payday no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, this world is through. This place is through, man. So like everything that's coming to this place, it's so understandable on how, you know, on how Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna put a spirit on brothers to be laughing while all these things are going on.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like, damn, bro, that's perfect judgment for him. You know, even if we don't know the person, like shit, if you ain't under the protection of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, what happened to you was supposed to happen to you.
We don't know what they did, but we know what they didn't do.
We know what they didn't do. You know, like the brother who stopped, a brother driving by on a motorcycle, Jake dropped his snacks. I picked it up just in case if he come back. He came back, you know. We don't know what he gonna do in his life, but we know that, you know what I'm saying, right now, it looking like he say he ain't got time right now for the word.
That's crazy. Everybody lately been saying, yeah, I see y'all all the time.
Yeah.
Brother came up off camera before. I feel like recently we've been getting that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I see y'all all the time.
The brother in the Benz,
Yeah.
that brother on the motorcycle, the brother from Louisiana.
I've been getting that at my Monday spot too.
Okay.
So it's documented. You know, people pretty much admitting that they see us out here, but they continue going about their day because they know what we're doing. They know what we're doing. People come like we ask. We got Bibles out here, so people know what's up.
Right.
If they don't know what's up, it's
just a choice has to be made.
Yeah.
They gon', you know what I'm saying, stop what they doing in the world, you know what I'm saying, to lend Yahweh Shem Yahushua their ear, you know, or they gonna just be like, hey, I got time, maybe next time, you know. And that's something that's been birthed in the Christianity church. Maybe next time. How y'all doing?
Yeah, that's Matthew 24 too. And it said the love of many will wax cold.
Yep.
Love waxing cold over here too. Our love for the world and its people, and our tolerance for the people. Hey, but love gonna be abundant amongst the elect. For everybody outside of that. So what? Brother said the Lord gonna put a cold spirit on us. So when judgment happens to those we know, hey, it's like all right, we gotta keep it moving. But that's why the scriptures say, seek out your own salvation. So we got a few more articles.
Okay. Let's see.
And then we know what's been going on. Let me see. Riots and protests all around America. They supposed to have a No Kings protest today, which I hope it turns out horrible and something bad happens.
Right.
Spiral out of control.
They got paid actors. They
Crisis actors. Yep.
Crisis actors off of Craigslist, bro.
Yep.
It shows if you see it, it's coming up for looking like they need construction workers. But when you click on it, it gives a better description on what they looking for. Can you
withstand law enforcement and the police? Can you handle high intensity moments?
Right. Do you crack under pressure?
Yeah.
Are you a badass?
Yeah.
You know.
Let's say looking for the baddest dudes in the city.
Right. Some are paid actors and some is just idiots joining in.
Yeah, it's gonna be orchestrated initially, but then, you know, people gonna take it serious. It's gonna spiral out of control.
Yep.
I got a little, let me see. Hey, George Soros paying people up to $12,500 a week for LA chaos. $12,000 a week. Up to. I know on the thing they said like 6,000 to 12,000.
Man, you can make 50,000 in 1 month. Huh?
That's salary.
But that's also peanuts to
them. Yeah.
To them, they giving you peanuts. You know. So also when these rappers be signing these deals and
getting all this
money, man.
Who gave it to them?
Right. The people who gave it to you is really bird feeding you. You eating crumbs.
This sports players, people talking about they got a new $50 million contract. Well, who paying them?
Yeah. But you also locked in. You know, you locked in for life for them.
Hey, shalom to Dollar Yahweh. Outside Barakatham. Tuning in. Hey, shalom and Barakatham to everybody else tuning in too, and we'll tune in.
And also shalom to the sister Rebecca Ofer, and shalom to the brother out there in Atlanta. His YouTube handle is Yahweh Shai.
I was watching them brothers. Hey, Shalom.
This article says, this is how you know, like what you had just brought up. It says Trump tells Netanyahu
Netanyahu?
Yeah, right. The war is exhausted itself, finishing. See that?
Man.
He knew it, man. They ain't never had no plans on it, and that was almost 5 days.
See?
This place through, man.
Oh yeah, for real.
It's like when I see these youngsters out here. Hey man, I just be thanking y'all about seeing y'all outside there. You know, my youngster. You know, he just graduated from high school. He got a good head on his shoulders, as they say. Like never making bad decisions. I mean, he ain't perfect or nothing, but I just know what's going on out here for these youngsters, man. All right. Also, earthquake strikes off Los Angeles coast, felt in Manhattan Beach and Riverside. Wars, rumors of wars, famine, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. I mean, what signs would you need to see? You know, because if you waiting on your how about some y'all shot for them to crack the sky, and you know what I'm saying, post on what you need to do, it ain't happening like that, man. That ain't how y'all about some y'all shot got it set up, man. That's how you know he not dealing with everybody. That's how you know he not dealing with the world as plantation Christianity says, and you know, even for those who know we are Israelites, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua ain't dealing with everybody on the first go around. Lord willing, we are part of that elect number. You got any more? Let's see. Oh, this is right here.
Okay, good.
Nationwide day of defiance set to sweep across the United States on June 14th, which is today. You know, of course, we ain't in the mix, you know, protesting and got our cameras out so we can be seen, you know, in the places to be, but who knows what's going on right now. Hold on. We just praying for Yahweh Shem Yahushua's will to be done.
Yeah, I know Trump, he said he would roll out the military pretty much all over America to combat, you know, crime, uprisings, protests. So get used to seeing law enforcement and the military on your streets.
Now,
And they not turning back.
because the National Guard is in Texas now. All of a sudden, they here in Texas.
California and Texas first.
Yep. So California has, they say, supposedly 2 million undocumented of our Issachar brothers and sisters, and Texas has 1.7 million. And they say that I saw an article that I think the brother Wild Romeo posted. It says that Trump is about to roll out an AI government. You know, and also, so all those paid actors, and this is me speaking as a man. Those paid actors, you know, I think it's all a psyops. Those paid actors who all the information they got, while they out there protesting, I think that Esau gonna be collecting data, trying to see if they can pinpoint those peoples in the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, with their facial recognition.
With their facial recognition and all that kind of stuff, because Babylon the Great would love to operate like China so bad. They would love to operate like China.
Man, we're going to get into it now. Leave our title, the lesson, be mindful of the prophets. Yeah, be mindful of the prophets. And that's what's taking place in the last days. And for those who got ears to hear and eyes to see, to be mindful of the prophets. Yeah.
Our first precept is coming from the book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. And it reads, "This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by ways of remembrance."
So that's, in other words, the Great Awakening, to stir up our pure minds by way of remembrance. Now, I'm going to get this word "stir up" in the Greek. Stir up, it says to render active. It says to arouse the mind. It says to awaken. It says to wake up. So in other words, this is going into the awakening. That would take place at the end. Creepy Halloween.
It's like a riding around listening to ghost stories.
But yeah, the Lord said He'll stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. Or in other words, He'll awaken you or wake you up. And what's the first few things that you learn upon waking up? You an Israelite, true names of the Lord, that this is Babylon, the last night of our captivity, that you waking up. Pretty much waking up, remembering who you are and realizing where you at.
And what you did.
But see, it don't stop there. The Lord didn't wake you up just to wake you up, and that's it. But we're going to get more into it.
All right, reading on, next precept, still in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 2. That ye may be mindful of the words which were spoke before by the holy prophets.
See that? The Lord said, I will stir up your pure minds. In other words, I will wake you up by way of remembrance, that you be mindful of the words spoken by the prophets. Yep. So the Lord woke you up really to learn the prophecies. Those are the words that spoken by the prophets will be the prophecies. And we're going to get into why the Lord woke us up to learn the prophecies.
Reading on. And of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior.
Yeah, and in the Acts of the Apostles and the teachers of Paul, to sum it up, they teach you how to live and serve the Lord in the land of your captivities.
Right.
How to keep the laws and commandments among the heathen. But again, the Lord said He'll stir up your pure minds. He will awaken you, that you be mindful of the words which are spoken by the prophets. Mm-hmm. So the Lord will want you to be mindful of the prophecies. Now, I'm going to get this phrase that you should be mindful. It says to remind, to be recalled, to return to one's mind. It says to remember. Now, I'm going to look up this word remember. We know what it means, but something stuck out when I was looking it up. Pretty much to remember, it means to not forget. When it says to be mindful of the prophets, to be mindful of the prophecies, here it says to remember, but in other words, don't forget prophecy. It says to have in or be able to bring to one's mind an awareness, someone or something that one has seen, known, or in the past. But to remember is to be in the mind, but in other words, to not forget. Because when we come to similar words for remember, it says to memorize, to retain, to learn, to keep in mind, to not lose sight of the facts. So when it says to be mindful of prophets, it means to remember the prophecies. And here it says to not lose sight of facts. So you should not lose sight of the facts that America is going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. It says to be mindful to the facts, to take it to consideration. So take it to consideration, ain't that this place is going to be destroyed. Because what did all the prophets prophesy of? The wrath of the Lord. That's what all the prophets prophesied about.
the end game.
But yeah, let's go
All
there
right.
now.
And check the comment, boy. Shalom to the brother Wild Rumya. Shalom. Yahba Shem Yahweh Barakatah.
Y'all about to make a book on.
And shalom to the brother Yawanathan Bakar, 144K. Shalom. Yahba Shem Yahweh Barakatah.
Shalom.
Right, back to the lesson. This precept is coming from Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18 and verse 24. Think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, and the time of vengeance, when he shall turn away his face.
See that? It says to think upon a wrath that should be at the end. In other words, to be mindful of the prophecies, to remember, to take into consideration, to not lose sight of the facts that the Lord is determined to destroy this place. But it said think upon a wrath that should be at the end. And that's what we have with it. You know, the days when the Lord's going to turn away his face. And that's what we see. The war escalating, all hell beginning to break loose in America. But yeah, it says to think upon that. And it's important because this is the whole reason that the Lord woke us up. Again, he is stir up your pure minds, meaning awaken you so that you be mindful of the prophecies. He woke you up so that you think upon his wrath.
Right.
So pretty much, we'll be building up to it, but to make the point right now, and the Lord woke you up so you have a chance to escape his wrath. And you can't escape,
Right.
but you know that you will have a chance to flee or to be exempt from judgment. That's what the Lord woke you up for.
And if Yahweh Shem Yahweh is truly dealing with you, since you woken up to this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you thinking upon this day to day. You know, it shouldn't even be a day where you ain't thinking about, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahweh, the prophecy, being truly blessed to have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Blessed to have spiritual eyes and ears to understand the times that we living in. Like, how could you want to be rocked back to sleep off? Oh, I don't believe we Israelites. I'm going back into the world. But man, you got a limited time, man.
Yeah, the Lord said, you know, speak to Israel and give them warning from me.
Right.
Oh, and he said, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
All right. This next precept is coming from the book of Luke, chapter 3 and verse 7. Then said he to the multitude that came forth to be baptized of him, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come.
Point there was at the end. You know, John told certain of the Sadducees and Pharisees who warned you to flee from the wrath to come. And see, that's why the Lord said, I will stir up your pure minds, I'll wake you up so that you may be mindful of the prophecies. If you got Ecclesiastes 18:24, it says to think upon the wrath to come. And then John says here, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come. So thinking upon the wrath to come, in other words, remembering the prophecies, learning the prophecies, not forgetting them, keeping them in mind.
Right.
But think about the prophecies, you know, when you receive the report, your mind should be, how do I escape this? How do I not be a part of this? That should be the very next question. Because like a lot of people, they say, if I die, I die. You know, we can't stop it.
Right. It is what it is.
Yeah, but no, you don't have to take part of that. See, it's easy to say that now until that bear on top of you,
Right.
or her bear cubs eating you alive.
Right. Why would you want to die death by pain? If you an Israelite, why would you want to die death by pain? I can see if an Edomite saying like we're all gonna go one day, you know, that's their attitude. You know what I'm saying? You know, but why would you want to die death by pain if you had an opportunity, you know, to get the glory on the first go around?
Right. And then they say, well, if I die, let it be quick. Whoever said it was gonna be a quick death? Lord said death by pain.
Right.
The Lord stopped time. We know it because when they was fighting Amalek, the sun and the moon didn't move.
Yep.
Then we know the sun and the moon is a declaration of times. Well, that was evidence, you know, the Lord pretty much stopped time.
Scripture don't say They're gonna die death by quick pain.
Oh yeah, or no
Pain
pain.
is pain, you know. Pain is something you feel. It's a time period you go through. You know, why go through hell, live hell, be a part of hell on earth, just to die death by pain? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, or you actually in a lake of fire, and your spirit don't leave the body as quick as you thought it would.
Right.
You know, it's easy to say. Now, if you die, you die. Let it happen. Let the Lord's will be done.
Like the three children in the furnace.
Oh
Meshach, Meshach and Abednego, they wasn't burnt up. Not only was they not burnt up, but even they jacket and they clothes didn't smell like fire.
They weren't touched.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua can reverse it.
Yeah.
Your body don't burn up right away, but you feel every piece of that.
Let's get yep. Let's get Romans 15:4 real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Cause see, you know, people will say if we die, we die. You know, let it be. You know, oh, and they say this, what you've been saying, we all gonna die one day. That's a loser mentality.
Right.
Because matter of fact, before you get that, I'm gonna jump here real quick.
Okay, you got it.
Because that's not what Yahweh Shah said. Because Matthew 16:28 says, "Verily I say to you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death, so they see the Son of Man coming in His kingdom." So we want to be part of that crew.
Right.
That don't taste the death. People talking about we all gonna die one day. My girl always say that. I'd be like, hey, it's a good chance I might not.
Right.
Because if we hear this late in the game, it's a good chance we part of that number that's not gonna taste the death.
Right.
And we know, and when we say taste it, we know it's gonna be people who gotta die for the sake of the gospel, but not gonna die death by pain.
That's why we call ourselves the hopefully lit, man.
Yep.
We got hope in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's it. We got hope in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, and nothing else. Like maybe a little bit of that comfort of the food we got put up, the spot that we can duck off to, the bug out bag, none of that, man. Now, you know, you find yourself in Jacob's trouble and you got a bug out bag on your back and Yahweh Shem Yahushua is dealing with you, hey, live it up, you know? That's just extra mercy. That's just extra grace.
Yep.
That's an extra hope for you.
Hey, good starter pack for you.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, ultimately, you know, 1,144%, we got our stakes in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Like they said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, our eggs in that basket sealed. You know, we only hoping and waiting on Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's our only chance. I don't want to go up another kind of way.
And so you Americans stupid, bro. They say don't put your eggs in one basket, and they say that's why I'm self-employed. I got a side job.
Yeah.
I'm investing in the Bitcoin.
Right.
All your eggs is still in one basket because all you invest into is the US dollar.
Right. You ain't doing nothing new.
That ain't nothing different.
Right. Like they said, you show me somebody with a lot of jobs, and I'll just show you somebody that pay a lot of bills.
Right, yup.
You ain't reinventing the wheel or nothing like that.
Yup. But see, like the brother said about having a bug out bag or whatever else you put your hope in, brother was talking about the three holy children. Them, Daniel. And anytime the Lord delivered our forefathers, it was nothing but them.
Right. Ain't no accounts of
Them taking something with them.
And then he had his lucky blanket.
Oh yeah, magic carpet.
Yeah.
No, it was just them.
A sack full of wine.
Hey, don't get on that ark. There was no room for extra.
Right.
You know.
He didn't bring both of his favorite pair of shoes.
Yeah. You know, furniture, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, when Lot flew Sodom and Gomorrah. But yeah. But let's go there.
All right, this is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
So yeah, you know, the Lord stirred up your pure minds, woke you up to be mindful of the prophecies. Pretty much prophesying the day of the Lord, that you be mindful of his wrath. But in that, he gave you hope. People say we all gonna die one day. Well, things written aforetime was written for your learning. And there's plenty of accounts in the scriptures in which our forefathers, they should have died in these different accounts. Hey, but the Lord brought them through it.
People say we all gonna die one day. I'm gonna say you gonna die one day.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, you right. You
Yeah.
are gonna die. You gonna die one day.
I tell my girl, I said, y'all are.
Right.
She be like, oh, I am. I be like, hey, I can't really say, but it's a good chance you know, and that's for all the sincere brothers and sisters. It's a good chance we gonna make it. But yeah, the Lord showed you how He'll deliver you even from the fire, from the mouths of lions, from a worldwide flood. This will give you hope here at the end when you think upon His wrath. Oh, that's let's go to real quick down. What is it? I think 2nd Ezra 16 and 18.
Yep.
Actually 17.
That's the spirit. I had 17.
That's that.
All right, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 17 and verse 18.
About,
And it-
16, 17. Or 17.
16 and verse 17. My bad, 16 and verse 17. And it reads, woe is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days?
So even Ezra said like, dang, you're going to deliver me in those days. Lord already gave us plenty of examples. Noah, Lot, and even Enoch was an example.
Right.
They tell you that he didn't taste the death because he walked with the Lord.
Right.
Moses,
Who are you going to lean on?
yeah.
Idris who seen the end times, or somebody who hoping that flowers spring out the ground and Cesare Borgia got a hug for every man, woman, boy, and child walking around? Like, what story you gonna lean on, man?
Yeah.
You know, today make it be known as you a fool or not. You want me to get 18 too, or just
Let's get 18 a little later on.
okay? Good.
But yeah, the Lord woke you up, stirred up your mind to think upon His wrath, so that you may have a chance to flee His wrath. And see, when you're in a burning building and everybody is asleep, you don't wake the person up to chill there for a minute and start celebrating. No, you wake them up so y'all can flee the burning building.
Right.
That's what's happening now.
Making haste.
You know, if an intruder break into your house, you wake each other up so you have a chance to escape. You don't wake up to start celebrating, and that's what the 2/3 of our people do. They live it up here in the land of their captivity, or they wake up to the fact that they're Israelite, and it stops there. So in their mind, they're just gonna be an Israelite in America forever. No, the Lord wake you up to flee His wrath. You know, not to celebrate, not to boast. Oh, I'm the chosen. You know, black God, this. People saying, yeah, we gods. Got the white man bowing at them. Lord ain't wake you up for that. Because at the end of all that, this place is gonna burn.
Right. Doing it for show, man.
You gotta know the Lord woke you up to flee.
Right, I seen his brother YouTube channel. All the, you know, I'm not judging him for that. However, all his teachings going live on the highways and hedges are only 20 minutes. And when some of his videos, before he give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he be shouting out people who made his headband, the garments. You know, I'm feeling good, man. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. Like, man, you ain't get woken up for that right there, man.
Yeah, man. The Lord didn't even wake you up to feel good.
Right.
He didn't. Oh, that's the bitterness.
The bitterness, yeah, like we was talking about this week.
That's the reality.
The honey's still sweet in his tongue.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, like, drones of videos, man. I'm gonna have to send it to you.
Yeah.
He always announcing he got a new reader, and then the next week he got a new reader.
See, that's
And they suited and booted like one body in Yahweh shot.
Oh man.
Them damn Walmart boots, them military black pants.
See, the Lord ain't wake you up from that.
Right.
He woke you up with your focus on fleeing the wrath to come. But that's why it says to be mindful of the prophecies. And that's written in the New Testament because American Christians, and they think the one who they call Jesus, which you know in the ancient Hebrews, Yahweh Shai, they think when he came, that fulfilled all prophecies.
Right.
Now they think the Old Testament is done away with and void. No, that's written in the New Testament after the death of Yahweh Shai to be mindful of the prophets.
It was written before time for our learning.
Yep, right.
You know,
So
it was
yeah.
put in there just to be put in there.
So remember what Isaiah said, Jeremiah, Daniel, Ezekiel, Obadiah. And people say the Edomites are done away with. No. Be mindful of all of that. Because really, most of the Old Testament prophecies didn't even came to pass yet. Because what do all the prophets prophesy about? About the day of the Lord, the vengeance of the Lord. So yeah, we ain't even tapped into most of the old prophecies yet.
Please.
But they are happening before our eyes.
Oh yeah.
And to be mindful of it, so when you see these things come to pass, which we're gonna get into it, and know that your salvation is not. But in order for the salvation to be not, that means the destruction is just as close. But yeah, you know, again, be mindful of the prophets or the prophecies. All the prophets prophesied of the same thing. They all had different pieces to the same puzzle.
Yep.
They may have gave you different details, came at it at different angles, expounded on it in different ways. But what they prophesied was the day of the Lord.
Right, and through the power of the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, they was all on one accord.
Oh, yeah.
Although they wasn't even all on earth at the same time.
Oh, right.
They still on one accord, man.
Hey, not all of the prophets knew each other, but a lot of them quoted each other.
Right.
That tells you that, you know, how the scriptures say, the prophecies of old came not by the will of men, but men who was moved by the Holy Spirit.
Moses didn't know Idris.
Enoch, the seventh from Adam.
Oh yeah.
He prophesied the coming of the Lord with tens of thousands of his angels. He prophesied of the second death before the first death. So this is the moment, and this is the one that everybody was speaking about back then. But before the flood even happened, Enoch was prophesying of the return of Yahweh Shai.
Man,
Before the flood.
just think about. I would love to pick Enoch's brain as well. You know.
Oh yeah.
It was just so wicked. You know. The Lord just beamed them up like, man, get them up out of there, man.
Yeah.
You know. He had to be. Was it worse than Sodom and Gomorrah? You know. Because he was vexed. You know? He was vexed. You know, with the things he was seeing as well.
And that's the thing too, all the prophets, you know, they was vexed with the wicked.
Yep. And that's the same, and we in them same times, man. You know, same time, we vexed too. You know? Vexed 2.0, right?
Yeah, man, I heard a brother say if Lot was back today,
Yeah.
he saw the trannies and the LGBTQT, he said Lot be cussing like, what the fuck?
Right.
This shit again?
He went to sleep and woke up in the nightmare.
Oh yeah.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, that's
Matthew.
Actually it was Romans 13:11. Let's go back there. Well, yeah, you know, picking up where we left off at, John said, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come? And that's why the Lord woke us up in the last days, just so we may be found worthy to escape. Not to be here another 1,000 years, not to be here another 50 years.
All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11. All right, my bad, I jumped the gun, my bad.
How's that?
Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
See that? The Lord said it's a high time to awake out of sleep because that salvation is near. Meaning that destruction is near. So the Lord woke you up because the destruction is near. So he woke you up so you may have a chance to be saved.
Right.
So this ain't about debating pastors. This is not a movement. It's not a spiritual revolution, but it's not our revolution. You know, it's not about debating. It's not a hobby. We're not hanging out. It's not a charity. We're not raising money. No, we waking up, so we may have a chance to receive that salvation. That's the only reason the Lord woke you up.
Yeah, we beyond trying to look cool for the camera.
Like you said, that brother talk about who made his garment or his headband. You know, people wake up, they start fringing all of their t-shirts.
Right.
Trying to start putting fringes on everything. No, the Lord woke you up to flee from this place.
Jeremiah again?
I'm gonna read this in the NLT, but yeah, we
Okay,
go there
you got it.
next. It says, "This is all the more urgent, for you know how late it is. Time is running out. Wake up, for your salvation is nearer now than when we first believed." So the Lord woke you up for the salvation, to flee from the wrath. That's why He says, "Stir up your pure minds to be mindful of the prophecies." Woke you up to learn the prophecies, so you can ask the question, well, who's going to save me in those days? Then the Lord gave you plenty of examples.
Right. Next precept is Jeremiah 28 and verse 8.
Now, we're going to show that pretty much, and the prophets all prophesied of the same thing. We're going to see that any of the prophets have a feel-good message. Any of them have a message of peace, of things working out.
Right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
See, Jeremiah said the prophets that have been before me and before thee. Guess what? The prophets after Jeremiah, that's back today, blowing that same trumpet, prophesying the war, evil, and pestilence against great kingdoms.
Right.
Ain't America a great kingdom?
We don't know Jeremiah. You know, we don't know Idris.
But we got the same message.
All on one accord. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. There's nothing that we doing.
Because even a lot of the prophecies of Jeremiah, you know, was for that time. But through the spirit, it's playing out again. He's prophesying at this time too. God damn, bro.
Right. He own the damn world, don't he? He probably walk around realizing I'm a fucking Edomite.
And see, that's what the world thinks Jesus looked like, bro.
Right. If that was Yahweh Shai, we would be screwed.
Oh,
Screwed.
yeah, man.
Like, I don't have no pity for their ass, man. Young Edomite, old Edomite, Edomite just graduated from college. I don't think I none of that,
That's that So Jeremiah prophesied of war, evil, and pestilence. In the spirit, he was prophesying of Jacob's trouble, also known as the Great Tribulation, which we see is unfolding now.
Right? This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, Salaki, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book.
See, they ain't spoke about a time of trouble such as never was.
Right.
In other words, she spoke about the same thing Jeremiah spoke about. War, evil, and pestilence. You see the war happening right now.
It's an evil time, man.
Yeah, we see the evils increase by the day. And then that pestilence. Pandemic lockdowns coming back. It's gonna be real illnesses that's killing up people by the millions. You see, it's all gonna explode at once. You're gonna have all hell breaking loose, riots, chaos, violence, then the pandemic gonna hit, a real one.
What Bill Gates said, the next pandemic is gonna get everybody's attention. Yeah, damn, how you knew?
Oh yeah.
How you know?
See?
You know, 6 years before.
And then Cotton Swab spoke about a comprehensive cyber attack.
Right.
So
Right, talking about cyber tech will make COVID-19 look like,
nothing.
uh,
So yeah, Lord willing, by people protesting, the lights of the internet go out. Yeah, they spoke about all of that.
the martial law troops that had their way with them people down there.
Oh yeah.
Billy clubs just keeping up with the count every time they hit somebody upside their head. Bling, 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 bling.
Yeah.
And then Yasharala gonna start screaming. I didn't even do nothing. What did I do? They getting hauled off.
So that's Matthew 24,
Mm-hmm.
24:6.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's the devil.
Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and starting at verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
See that? So what is the Lord speaking about?
Right.
Even the Lord prophesied the same message that the old prophets spoke about.
Right.
It wasn't nothing different. And then, how 2 Peter say, be mindful of the prophets.
Right.
In other words, that's what the Lord was saying. There's going to be earthquakes, wars, pestilence, famines. The Lord was reminding them. Because what does it mean to be mindful? To remember.
Yeah, Yahweh Yahweh telling you to be mindful, of the things that he's speaking, and also the men that he set up that's speaking the same thing.
Yeah, the men that came before him, and the men that will come after him, which will be here today.
Right, and Lord willing, we are part of that number. We speaking the same thing. I mean, are y'all being mindful? Is Yasharala being mindful? Hell no, because they too wrapped up on, well, if I'm gonna make it, what about the white man?
Oh, see, man.
Like, damn, so Moab, Ham, you don't care about them. You just want to make sure your oppressor get up in there. Damn, he beat you that much? He beat you that good? You want to make sure you want to share your heaven and your hell and your heaven with him? Like, man, just think about having to share the kingdom with a damn Edomite forever. Like, man, I go crazy. I could have a good weekend, get back to captivity, and an Edomite could just start talking and never stop, and I'll just be ready for it to be Friday, man. Like, it's just something about them, man. It just irked the shit out of me.
God damn it.
That bird shit on me.
Ain't that some shit?
Look.
Bird. Let's keep going on that. I think like maybe through verse 8.
Reading on Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
See that? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's Jeremiah, war, evil, and pestilence.
Right, all that's going on right now.
Yeah, that's Daniel 12:1. Time of trouble such as never was. Just the Lord going a little more in depth with the details.
And that article I brought out earlier, in Time Headlines, it says Denver, Colorado, rattled by rare earthquake hasn't happened in 44 years.
See?
Hey, call the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh for this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Our message of the kingdom say this. You know how we know we there? That's why you got an earthquake app.
Yep.
When has there ever been an app to track earthquakes? And why?
Right.
Because they're increasing.
Yes.
All over the place.
I just be thinking like, man, those elites got so many of our books, man, that we wouldn't even get a chance to even know about them.
Man, I think they got pictures, man. This is what the kingdom said. They got pictures of Michael in the chariot. Wouldn't be surprised.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a play-by-play book of prophecy. You know? Like, but everything is going to be revealed.
Yeah, I think they got pictures, the 7 holy ones, holy angels, Leviathan.
Oh, man, can't forget about Leviathan.
Yeah.
And all those things are going on. I'm going to get it again. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is saying you ain't seen nothing yet. You think it's sad that a Hamite child is starving with flies on his eyes on your TV screen. Just imagine when you, that Hamite, starving with a big belly with eyes on your flies on your eyes. You know, like what you gonna do when everybody in your neighborhood, everybody in your whole city is all crying at the same time? It's 20 more minutes before the sun go down. You know, like you hearing noises, you seeing things, you seeing animals that's supposed to not only be in a zoo, but you seeing animals that only live in
fiction or
in fiction,
sci-fi.
Only your craziest mind can make that up. Or you seeing animals that belong in Africa. You know what I'm saying? In the jungles. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell they hungry. You know what I'm saying? They got a lust for flesh. You know, like what you gonna do then? You gonna be wishing like, wish I would have knew how to get prepared for this. Hey, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is showing you right now, but we ain't talking about everybody, you know, because we know that everybody, this ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people are literally just extras in the movie.
And you know that's why John said, who warned you to flee from the wrath? Right. I know when certain people tell me they done saw me out here, they done seen the video of mine, I be like, yo, that's kind of like how you find out, that's what John would say, who warned you to flee?
Right.
Let's go back to that 2 Ezra 16, 17. If we get 18 with it too. But yeah, how the brother said, you know, pretty much when that stuff come here, you know, what you gonna do? Right. But see, we received a report and we believe the report. So we already asked the question, what we gonna do? Ezra's asking.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, and starting at verse 17. Woe is me, woe is me. Who would deliver me in those days?
See, we asking that question already.
Yep.
And that's why when we come here, I'm going to get Proverbs 8 and 17. Mm-hmm. Lord says, I love them that love me. Those that seek me early shall find me. And, you know, we seeking the Lord, but see, people say they seeking the Lord, but there's no end goal. Right. You know, what do you desire from the Lord once you find him? Right. The elect, we want mercy.
Right. Yeah, you can desire Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but at the same time, it's much more that's required of you. You know, you can't desire Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but never miss a Sunday morning church or Bible study on Wednesdays. That ain't how that goes. You know, desiring Yahweh Shem Yahushua should make you spring into a certain action. You know, your mindset gonna change, the way you think, the way you live, you know what I'm saying? How you carry yourself, your conversation. Like, you talking to some brothers who truly believe 90% of the time, this is all we talk about.
Oh yeah.
You know, we still got our regular lives, wives, children, you know what I'm saying, captivity that we talk about, vent about, but for the most part, hey man, prophecies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is the most important thing that we could ever talk about. Like, I almost feel like I can remember every conversation we have about Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah. That's all the disciples talked about too. It stayed through the scriptures, they came to him privately. Or, you know, some are off the scene, the Lord was always expounding. But see again, Ezra said, who will deliver me in those days? We asked that question early upon receiving a report. But see, everybody else can be asking that question when it's too late. Like, damn, who's gonna deliver me from the sword, pestilence, or the famine? But what the Lord say, those who seek me early shall find me. And who's Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Savior, the deliverer.
Reading on, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come.
So yeah, you know, the evil's come. You know what the people gonna do? It
Yeah.
said great mornings.
Yep.
It ain't great morning yet. People crashing out on camera because of their grocery bills. They done got fired.
Right.
We ain't hit great morning yet.
Right. People can still go buy their Jordans right now.
Uh-huh.
Get a 4 for 4. They can still go protest.
You still got some sort of safety and security.
Yep. The dollar's still good.
Yep. And it says a great death. But there's another one I was thinking about. I think it might be 15. Second there's is 15. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see.
It ain't the whole speak down to the ears of my people, words of prophecy.
No, it goes to like great confusion.
Oh, okay.
16 and 21 first.
All right, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 21. Behold,
Matter of fact, let's yeah, we go straight to it, my bad.
all right, 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
See, that's what the brother said. You know, they can still buy their Jordans. And that's funny. Now people got Chinese plugs for the Jordans.
Yep.
I'm seeing that on social media.
Yeah,
Shout out to
super
my
cheap.
Chinese plug. I got these Jordans for $30.
Super cheap.
Victuals being so cheap.
Yep.
So they think they in a good case. Really, you in a worse case.
Right? And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
We seen that happen. The evil's growing in the earth. You know, stuff that the wicked elites that they orchestrating from up top. We seen it playing out before our eyes. Hey, from the wars, hey, to the protests. But what the scriptures say, when you will see these things, nation against nation, earthquakes in diverse places, and it's only the beginning of sorrows. So wait till the world see what happens next.
Sword, famine, and great confusion.
So we in the days of great confusion. That confusion, a whole nother type of plague.
Sir.
That's why the scriptures say, if you give me any plague, roughly paraphrasing, gonna give me a plague of the mind. Yeah. Because to not have it is one thing, but to not have it and not know where it's gonna come from or how you gonna get it, that's a whole nother type of plague.
Yeah. To not know is bad, but to not know and not have a clue is even worse.
Oh yeah. Because you know, if your refrigerator empty now, you don't have it, but you know how to get it and where to get it.
Yeah.
There's options. There's coming, there's gonna be no options. That's not confusion gonna set in. And let's go to Luke 21, 20, I think 25.
21 and 25. All right, this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25. And it reads, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring.
Seeing the waves are roaring right now, meaning the people are clashing. Seeing the waves are metaphor for the people. But it said distress of nations. Hey, nations are stressed out. Everybody fed up, everybody scrambling. But it also says with perplexity. Now when we get this word perplexity, that's a code word. So when we come to it, it says to be without resources. Don't we see people losing their resources, source of income, food, housing, shelter. It says,
care.
oh, yup. It says to be in straits. Let's look up this word straits. Pretty much to say a bad or difficult situation. It says to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt. So people don't know how they're going to make it. They don't know how it's going to turn out. It says to not know which way to turn. So to not know what to do, not know how to react. That's that great confusion that's about to sweep across America.
How did we get here?
And then that's when the people gonna lose it.
That's when everybody gonna lose.
People gonna think there's no hope. There's no way out. So they gonna crash out.
What they said, us Babylonians are 9 meals from anarchy or chaos.
I think it's gonna be chaos before that.
Right.
Because 9 meals, you go up to American standard, that's like 3 days.
And they say that these grocery stores, Walmart, big chain suppliers like that, it only takes 3 days for them to run out of food. You know, like, hey.
I think when that happens, it's gonna be worse than they expect. I think they're gonna run out in a day.
In a couple of hours.
For real.
You know, just imagine the one thing that stopped people from breaking in and running in your house is could that person have something to protect themselves? The cops get here before I leave. This is just a whole slew of things that keep people from doing whatever they want to. But just think about it when everybody's on an even playing field, man. People is just gonna be so lawless, man. Hey, but if you got this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you gotta count that as a beautiful time. You know, we still gonna be frightened, scared. We talking about the King of all kings. You know, but to have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and be out here doing this in true faith and sincerity, y'all about to see me outside dealing with you. Yeah, it's gonna be some scary times, but hey, even the Lord said we're gonna be merry in those times. Sucks to be a 2/3 in them days. Lord willing, we're part of that elect number.
Yeah, perplexity coming because everybody that's protesting and rioting right now, or who will do something, and you just know beforehand, they done grab some hot chips and a Gatorade. Mm-hmm. The perplexity ain't set in yet. Yeah. Or after they rioted and protest, they gonna go smoke a black, or go to Wendy's to get the 4 for 4. That perplexity ain't set in yet.
What the scriptures don't teach, perplexity will.
Yeah.
Adversity will.
Yeah, because see, people had their mind on what they was gonna do after. When there is nothing to do after, because there ain't no options, that's when people gonna crash out. The protests and riots will be totally different if people ain't know what they was gonna eat later. Right. Or if they went out there on an empty stomach. It goes on to say to be at loss with oneself. So people gonna lose themselves in a perplexity or that great confusion.
Sure.
Not know how to decide what to do. And the 2/3 of our people, we're gonna be perplexed. Why would they not know what to do? Because they're not being mindful of the prophets. They told you the prophecies. Paul reminded you. Paul and Peter reminded you. The Lord got me in here reminding you to be mindful of the words of the prophets.
Right, be mindful.
To learn, to memorize the prophecies. To not lose sight of the facts. America's gonna be destroyed, but it's gonna be plagues first. Because see, it's a lot of people, you always say you gotta be in you, not on you. It's a lot of people that do reading and studying, they're able to see. But if it ain't really in them, the Lord said even a little, which they have, gonna be taken. So a little bit of understanding you do got, if it's not really in you, you're gonna quickly forget it when the troubles come. But that's why the Lord said be mindful of the prophets. It's easy to learn and to think upon the prophecies when it's a chill day. Work, go to home, chill, it's the weekend you off. It's easy to be mindful of the prophecies then. But can you be mindful of the prophecies in the times of trouble? Because see, in times of trouble, people gonna move off of instincts. They gonna do what they know best or what come easy.
Survive. Or try to survive.
Yeah, but are you gonna remember these things when bullets flying? Brother sent the video in the chat. They supposed planting explosives in the sewers in Chicago, bullets flying, the ground blowing up from beneath you, people coughing up blood shooting out their openings, U.S. military helicopters shooting at people. Can you be mindful of the prophecies then?
Right.
And that's why the scriptures say, hold fast to that which thou hast. Can you hold on and remember this information then? You know, in the famine. You know, and your mind changed quick when you miss a few meals. We know that by experience from fasting. But can you be mindful of the prophecies while you fasting? You ain't ate in 24, 26 hours. Can you still remember the words of the Lord then?
Can you keep your integrity when your back is against the wall?
Yup.
When you're being tested.
Yeah. Because that's when we're coming to that time of testing.
And you remain pure gold, you know what I'm saying, when you're in the fire.
Yup.
Furnace of adversity.
Yeah, you got to hit that time of testing. So, yeah, it's coming to the rest of the world, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. We're going to be affected too. These troubles not going to miss us forever.
Yeah, come. We gonna be in the midst of it too.
Hey, Shalom to the brother Pain Upon Tables, brother Masat, and the brother Nathan, Shadow of Thy Wings, brother Iwanathan Bakar. Let's grab this real quick. We grab a couple of these and we end up. That's Isaiah 26:3.
Okay.
I think a good example when Yahweh got snatched up. What did Peter do? He grabbed his sword and cut off somebody's ear.
Right.
Lord grew his ear back and told him, hey, he who lived by the sword died by the sword. Hey, that's an example. Instincts kick in. That's how people say, you know, Peter David. He went straight for the sword and got the work on him.
Yep.
Sliced somebody's ear off with no effort.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. Thou will keep him in perfect peace. Wise mind is stayed on thee because he trusted in thee.
See, the Lord gonna keep him in perfect peace whose mind is on thee. And what does it mean, whose mind is on the Lord? In other words, you mindful of the prophets, whom the Lord has set up to speak for him. You mindful of the prophecies, which are the words of the Lord.
Sir.
So, keep your mind on the Lord, keep your mind on the words of the prophets. And they're going to be kept in perfect peace, meaning in the mind. Because all hell going to be breaking loose, and we all going to be in the mix. Like the scripture said, we're going to be kept from the evils. So, you know, ultimately a peace of mind, but at the end, we're going to come out on the other side. Here we go. Ecclesiastes 39:1. Because, you know, people understand some of this stuff, know some of this stuff. You know, they know the doctrine to a certain degree. But as soon as something happens, they get to asking you questions.
Right.
Like, bro, we talk about this occasionally. You should know. You know what we teach. You've seen some of the videos. Why are you asking questions?
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter, what is it? You said 30?
Yeah, 39.
39 and verse 3?
Oh,
39 and verse 1.
I had to change it up real quick.
All right, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39 and verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and starting over. Let me see. book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39 and starting at verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients, and be occupied in prophecy.
I see.
He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will keep going.
Oh no, that's good. That's
Okay.
good. But yeah, see, the brother posted, Brother Yuanathan, it said, seek out the wisdom of all the ancient. In other words, to be mindful of the words spoken by the prophets. So you be seeking the understanding to prophecy. It says what? You be occupied in prophecies. Meaning what? Your mind will stay on the prophecies. To learn, to remember, to not forget. But yeah, but like the brother posted also to Isaiah 29 and 3, they who mind stand the Lord will keep them in perfect peace. And that's Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. For the Lord shall be thy treasure, strength of salvation. As we see, you know, everybody about to make a lot of bad decisions. That's gonna be the difference between those who make it, those who don't.
But those bad decisions are already written, though.
Yup. Yup.
Let me grab this. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 2. O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, revive thy works in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy.
See?
So when all these things are, when the Lord's word continue to come to pass as it has always did, as we know it will, we asking Yahweh Shem Yahushai to remember mercy in the day of wrath. Because this is not going to be a day where everybody getting fired from their job. You know, this ain't going to be a day where, you know what I'm saying, the stock market been crashed. It's going to be worse than that, man. It's going to be the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushai's wrath. The world ain't seen the wrath in the brink. So there ain't no way that we can measure it and try to tell you how bad it's going to be. We can tell you the things that's going to be coming to pass, but we can't even give you the feeling that's going to go into it. You know? We living in those times right now.
See that saying, in wrath, remember mercy. So yeah, all of us not gonna die. You know? Yeah, that's it for today's lesson, to be mindful of the prophets. In other words, to be occupied in the prophecies. It's easy to remember and to hold on to these things now, but more so hold on to them when the troubles come. So double honor to the elders and apostles who taught us this truth by the Holy Spirit. Honor to the brothers, making their bodies a living sacrifice to push the gospel. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Let's give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Next time, Lord willing, Shalom.
Shalom.